right, well, hello and welcome back to Somerset Place for another edition to our Lost Building series. Today we are within the enslaved community along the street to learn about the Lake Chapel. When Josiah III and Mary Collins moved to the plantation in the 1830s, they instituted quite a bit of change, physical with buildings and psychological with new forms of division and rules placed on the enslaved community. The Lake Chapel was a representation of both the physical and psychological changes. The chapel was most likely built by Jesse Sawyer, a local carpenter, whom the Collinses hired to build some of the structures around the plantation. This building was completed by the mid-1830s. In June of 1837, the first confirmations and baptisms were entered in the parish register of the Episcopal Church. And in November of 1839, Edmund Ruffin, a notable agriculturalist and pro-slavery activist, visited Somerset Place. Edmund described the Lake Chapel as follows, quote, "The Negro's chapel is a rude and rustic but neat building, whitewashed without and within, and provided comfortably but in the plainest style with the accommodations necessary for the congregation and for its sacred purpose. There is a room for 200 persons, and I was told that sometimes it is filled." Now, the interior of the Lake Chapel was approximately 16 feet by 48 feet, with two large chimneys on either end. Although we do not know the specific arrangement inside the Lake Chapel, it is theorized that it probably looked much like this image drawn by John Sykes. This drawing is based on chapels built on other plantation locations around the South. We can see that the pews are all facing the altar, lectern, and pulpit. In Episcopal churches, the font was always by the main entrance to the building and was used to baptize people. During the ownership period of Josiah Collins III, the enslaved people were always given Sundays off. That way they had the opportunity to attend services within the Lake Chapel. We know about this from the plantation record documents and through letters written by members of the neighboring Pettigrew family. The plantation record was an account of the work the enslaved community did daily. In these documents, we always see Sundays left blank. Not all plantation owners agreed with this approach. John Sykes, in his Lake Chapel report, quotes a letter that Ebenezer Pettigrew wrote saying, quote, "Religion among the mass of Negroes who profess is nothing more than humbug." Sykes goes on to say that Ebenezer, quote, "refused to allow his harvest to be dictated by Sundays and the rest of the church's calendar." Pettigrew thought that such a practice by Collins was another example of his ineptitude as a planter. Years later, Uriah Bennett, a former field hand enslaved person at Somerset Place, recalled in his 1937 interview, quote, "The same Episcopal preacher that preached here for the white people preached for us folks at night sometimes. The preacher boarded with the Collinses. Negro children had to go to school every day and Sundays too, both men and women on Sunday. The preacher, Mr. Collins, or some of the white folks taught Sunday school. George Patterson was the last preacher, and Mr. Murphy the first that I remember." We know that the enslaved children were not formally educated like Josiah and Mary's sons were. Uriah is referring to ministers and Josiah teaching the young enslaved children an oral catechism. They did this through means of memorization. None of the children were taught how to read or write. Mr. Forbes, who was the first clergyman at the Lake Chapel, wrote in 1838 that, quote, "I have commenced giving oral instruction in the church catechism to the members and candidates in my colored congregation. I have found it to be attended with beneficial results." We see this tradition of teaching an oral catechism throughout the years of the Lake Chapel. Later on, George Patterson, the last Episcopal minister of the Lake Chapel, writes, quote, "I have been able, by God's help, to say daily morning and evening prayer. I have instructed the children of the servants in the catechism daily, unless prevented by some unavoidable circumstance. There are about 100 children of both sexes who attend this school. Beside this, there is a school held each Sunday morning by the master, which is attended by the children of the day school and about 126 of the older servants, who are faithfully instructed by him in the doctrines and duties of our most holy faith." That's what we have for you in this first part. Tune in next time to watch Noah's second half of the Lake Chapel. We hope to see you here sometime for a guided tour. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to be notified of our new uploads. And until next time, thank you for watching.